Welcome back everyone to more Farming Simulator 19 coverage here at Knee Pit Gaming. In today's video we're going to start some gameplay on a new map that I just found recently on the in-game ModHub called New Woodshire. It's a charming map that I think we can have quite a bit of fun with, so let's get started. Alright, so we've just spawned into the game world. Keep in mind, as I prefer to do the farm manager start, that's going to give us quite a bit of money. You can see in the top right hand corner. We'll start with 1.25 million, and there are a lot of buildings already in place. There are animal enclosures, there are storage facilities for both a silo as well as our vehicles. There is a lot that is already on the property. The difference is we don't own any of the land right now, so we would have to purchase the land as well as any of the equipment, as well as the fields. So you can see there's quite a bit going on here. This is actually the cow enclosure. You can see here we've got a spot for both the feed and the water. In here, there's your slurry and manure areas. And let's see over here, that might actually be manure as well. Some storage area over on this side for some quite large equipment. We've got plenty of room for that over here. So some very nice storage located on one of the main farm areas. Here you can see the pig enclosure. So again, a lot of things are already in place. We would simply need to purchase them. Some more storage over here, and it looks like we really need to get the weed eater out. Some young trees there. And if we keep going out in this direction, we'll get to field number 20. And if you look in the bottom left-hand corner, you can see the mini-map. That is where we're currently located, field 20, right on the edge. And just to give you an idea of the size of some of these fields. So this is a pretty good size field. Not the biggest that we've seen on some of the maps, but by all means, it is plenty big enough for what we're going to need. Let's actually work our way around to one of the fields that actually is not numbered, and you can see here it's just going to have grass planted on it. This is going to be very nice for us because it'll give us the opportunity to actually have a field of grass to get started for our animals, particularly our cows. We can turn this grass into hay and have a great feeding source for our cows. But again, this particular field is not numbered for whatever reason. Then we've got a smaller area right down in here. Let's actually see what's going on in this area. Okay, so a nice flat area here. Looks like it would be great for some building. We've even got a little path. Looks like it is actually headed out and gives you an area in between a couple of fields there. Okay, so a nice building area right here. If we work our way a little bit farther over in here, we're now on field 13, which again is a pretty good size field. I mean, these are large fields that are going to be, I believe, big enough and plenty big enough for us to generate a nice amount of income. So the way I want to get started in today's video, other than just taking a little look around like what we're doing right now, I also want to get started on an animal farm. So we're going to try to grab some cows and get started that way. Oh, very nice. Very nice swampy area down here. I can also see that we've got, let's go ahead and jump into the water. Okay, here's our refueling station for all of our equipment if we decide not to actually add a fuel tank. But very nice indeed. Even got a nice sun umbrella there. But so far I am really enjoying what I'm seeing on this map. Now I have not done any gameplay on this map before I started recording because I wanted to go through that with you guys rather than doing that on my own. I want you guys to hear my initial impressions as we're going through all of this. So it looks like here we've got another field which is not numbered, so plenty of grass there if we can figure out how to get in here, that is. other than purchasing it and starting to tear some of this down. Hopefully you could tear down some of this fencing and the post. Up here it looks like we've got, without pulling up the main map, it looks like we've got a store of some sort up here. Is this going to be where we purchase our equipment is the real question. So let's head over and take a look. And actually that looks like that's exactly what this is. So this is our storefront upgrade area. Okay, so not a huge area, but should be plenty of room for what we need. A couple more things I want to take a quick look at before we actually get started purchasing any equipment or land is we're going to head through this area and take a quick look at what I believe is the sheep and the horses. There we go. So here's a horse enclosure right here and some nice buildings around the side. A little bit more vehicle storage there, as well as some a couple of small stables there for the horses. Okay, very nice. Very nice. So when it's time to get into horses, which can be a great money maker, it will certainly give us the opportunity to do that. So again, we come up into another main farming area and a lot of storage in this area as well. Okay, if we work our way around the corner, I'm really liking the layout. It's a lot of rolling hills. Hopefully it's not enough to cause an issue for us, but here we see another enclosure. This would be for the sheep. Okay, a lot of weed eating and trimming that needs to be done around here, but we've got another grass area right here, an unnumbered field. So there's really a lot to offer in this map, and I'm really enjoying what I'm seeing so far. So to get going, let's actually come back out and we're going to go into the main map and we're going to select land. So we've got 1.25 million. And so if we want to purchase this main area where we got started, that'll be 161,000. That's not much at all. Of course, we'll want to go ahead and do that because it's got our cows on there, and that's where I want to get started. What about up here with the sheep? Okay, we're going to get quite a bit of land up here for 261, almost 262,000. So we'll have horses, sheep, as well as what looks to be a couple of fields, actually about 3 fields. Okay, so that is a very nice buy. What about over here? Do we get anything? No, we don't get any additional fields, just the main farm area. For an additional 104,000, we can purchase that grass field that is unnumbered. Another grass field over here. So there's plenty of room in the immediate area. So right now what I'm thinking is that when we get around to purchasing some of these areas, we would turn these neighboring fields into the food source for whatever particular animals might be in that area. So I'm seeing a lot of potential right here, and it looks like we're going to have plenty of money to get started. So let's go ahead and buy a few properties. We'll start out with buying what will be our main farm area. And we would definitely like to purchase that. We also want to purchase this grassy area for 104,000. Yes, please. All right, not bad at all. So I'm thinking this would probably be our next purchase, but I don't want to get quite that far just yet. What I really want to do right now is I want to head back over to the shop. So let's get rid of the lands display and actually click on the shop and visit it. So yes, once again, confirmation that this is the shop where all of our equipment will be purchased, as well as where we will pick these things up. So let's go ahead and get started with, we're going to need a mower. And of course, my main mower that I love is the Big M 450. This is an absolute monster, and it goes through fields very quickly. So we're going to select this one. And of course, we could always choose a tractor and add the add-on implements to it, but let's just get right to it. You're roughly at 10 meters of working width, and we're going to get this thing leased. So do we want to lease it for about 19 grand? Absolutely we do. Okay, next we're going to need, for our cows, we're going to need some water, which means that we're going to need at least a basic tractor. And let's grab a small tractor. Before we do that, let's go into the animals section. Oh, we are in wrong section. Let's go to the tools and then the animals. There we go. So what kind of water tanks do we have? We've got, for 9,500, we could get the Joskin model. Or we've got, for 25,000 or 68,000, we got some bigger models. So 8 grand here as far as 8,000 liters, 7,300. Oh, wow. This one is much, much cheaper. Okay, I like that quite a bit better. And then, of course, at some point, we'll want to get the ability to transfer our milk. So we'll probably pick up another one of these for that very purpose. But for now, let's go ahead and get some water. And we'll take care of this. It's only 9,500, so there's no reason to lease that. We'll go ahead and buy that. And this is not going to take much of in the way of an equipment. So let's go ahead and pick a small tractor. And let's find one with a decent amount of horsepower that's not going to cost us an arm and a leg. I don't really want to go with the Fiat. The Fendt is a nice one. I like the look of that one. I'm also a big fan of the new Holland. So we're around 100 horsepower. The Massey Ferguson, what do we have? So 105. Let's get the New Holland. And let's see what we've got as far as an upgrade. So we can get up to the 117 horsepower for an extra 9 grand. Let's go ahead and do that. Wheel setup. Let's see, we could do wide tires, the weights. We're not going to have to worry about narrow tires because we're not going to be using this for any real field work. So let's just keep the standard, but we're going to go with the wheel weights just in case those are needed. So we'll go ahead and let's see, do we want to buy this? Let's go ahead and lease this, because we may outgrow its functionality at some point in the future. So at that point, we'll just end the lease and return it. All right, let's actually back out and let's see where everything is parked. So we've got, oh, it's way up here. All right, that's interesting. I actually thought it was going to be parked down in this area, but no, not at all. So we're going to have to drive each one of these things. It looks like we're going to have to drive down that ramp. Well, there is another ramp on this side, but that is a pretty tight squeeze. Yeah, so I think we're going to be better off if we just go down this ramp. It's still a little bit tighter of a squeeze. I'll tell you what, let's take the dirt path out of here. And we'll work our way back to our field. I'm going to try to stay off of other fields, which we do not own. All right, there we go. So we are off and running. It's going to take me a little while to get used to where we are on this map, but I think this is a map that I'm really going to enjoy, and hopefully you guys will get a lot of enjoyment from it as well. Now I need to bring up the map a little bit bigger so that I can see our best course of action. It looks like here we need to go right. Okay, I was thinking we might be able to get there by going straight, but it looks like that is going to take us the long way around, to say the least. Okay, there's a grassy area, and we see the opening to get in back there, right near the turn. So we have arrived. Right up here on our left, a nice little area over here to the right. Looks like some cleaning is needed. So let's go ahead and turn in. And we're actually going to head around back. Okay, so you can see in the top right-hand corner, we still have 950,000. So very nice indeed. All right, there we go. So we've got that one parked. Let's now head back. And I think we're going to be fine without a weight on the front. But of course, time will tell, as always. And what I'm planning to do here is we are going to purchase quite a few cows. All right, so this tractor should be perfect for what we need. The wheel weights were probably overkill, but who knows? We might find another use for this tractor on the farm. All right, let's don't get run over. And yeah, the storefront is very close to our main farm area, at least our starting area. So I think this is going to work out well. Any new equipment we purchase will not take very long at all. And if I ever get around to getting course play installed, then it'll make things even easier. All right, for now we're going to drop off the water right here, and we're going to hop back in and do a little grass cutting. So we currently own this particular field. Let's get right over to the edge, and we're actually going to cut as much of this as we are allowed to. All right, so we could try to hire a worker. Unfortunately, I don't know that that will work. Let's find out. Let's see what the worker does, since this is not a defined field with no number or anything like that. So let's just see what he does. Kind of interested to see how he handles that, and we're about to find out if he stops right up here. And yes, actually he did. So it gives you a bit of a headland. Let's see if he turns. And wow, I did not expect this. I did not expect this at all. This is a very pleasant surprise to get the AI functionality like this on a non-numbered field. All right, I'm very happy with that. So this guy is off and running. So now let's hop back out, and I want to get over, is it on this side? Oh yeah, it's going to be on this side where we can purchase the cows. Now, I am going to go with the black and white cows simply because that's what I'm used to in our area. Certainly don't have any Brahman anywhere in this area. So we're going to go with the black and white. And let's see, how do we want to do this? Do we want to go ahead and purchase cows now? Because we're not going to have any hay available to us for a little bit, because obviously we're going to have to do a little bit more work before we can make that happen. Let's actually go back. We're going to head over to the shop once again. And not that we necessarily have to do that, but I kind of enjoy doing that. All right, so what other equipment are we going to need? Let's go to our tools. And so we don't need a mower. We're going to need a loading wagon. And let's see, 95 horsepower. Yes, that will be good to get us started anyway. What about, we might be able to work with the 34,000 liters at 120 horsepower. But that's probably cutting it a little close. So for right now, we're going to actually lease this starter loading wagon. We'll go ahead and lease that. And we're going to need a few other pieces of equipment, which I think our baseline tractor is going to be good for. We're going to need a tedder. And let's see what we got. Yeah, 60 horsepower, 40 horsepower, 75. Yeah, that's going to be no problem at all. So the question is really going to be, what windrower are we going to use? So 13 meters there. Let's take a look at our windrower. 15, roughly 15, 10, 9. Again, horsepower is a non-issue with these as well. Okay, so I'm thinking the 9.3 should do just fine. So we'll grab that one, 9.3. And let's see, 30,000. Let's go ahead and buy that, because I think this is going to last us a while. And of course, if we end up having to sell it, that is certainly not the end of the world. So now let's come back into the tethers, and 8.7 or 13. Actually, I think we're going to be just fine with the 8.7. That should be no problem at all. Yeah, we got some tighter spaces here at the beginning, so we're going to stick with a little bit smaller equipment than what I prefer long term when we get on some of these bigger fields. So 16 grand, let's go ahead and buy that. All right, so let's get back, and oops, let's actually go to head back and see how we're doing on our grass cutting. And this is awesome. He is doing an amazing job. I can't believe he hasn't gotten stuck on something yet, because I mean, clearly he's got plenty of obstacles that he could get stuck on. There are trees, there are buildings back over here. So yeah, this is turning out quite nicely. And for now, we don't really have a need to do anything other than using the wide spreading work mode, because we're going to have to tether this and then windrow it anyway, so it's a non-issue really. But that is very nice. So we're going to now let's just drop off this equipment right here for now, and then we're going to head our way back to the store. And at some point I need to try resetting something to see if it resets it to one of the farm areas, or if it resets back to the storefront. All right, we've also got some other buildings we need to place down, such as our water tank. Even though we've got water sources nearby, I feel a little bit safer if I'm using a water tank for that. So I think we'll stick with the water tank. A fuel tank we also could put down. And I haven't taken a look at the silo just yet, so we'll have to see if we're going to be able to make do with that as well. So I want to make sure I get our money spent on the equipment we're going to need before we get into. Let's see, let's grab the loading wagon since it's closest. Yeah, I think our tractor, our beginner level tractor, I think is going to work out great for our needs here at the very beginning of the playthrough. And then as we move on to some of the bigger fields, we will certainly get into some bigger, higher capacity equipment. All right, so you can also see that I have left the traffic on for now. Hopefully that won't become an issue. And mostly here I'm referring to course play. Recording these various courses, sometimes it can be a little bit tricky with some of the bigger equipment to use course play on the road, so we'll see how that works out. All right, I'm going to bring this around, and we'll find a more permanent area to store this a little bit later. But for right now, I'm going to bring it right over here and just sort of drop it off. Okay, we'll head back to the storefront and we'll pick up our other 2 pieces of equipment. And then should be, by the time we get done with this, our mower should be done mowing the grass, and we can jump right into the next phase. So we are moving right along here on day 1 on the new farm. These trips back and forth give me a good opportunity to see some of these fields and get an idea of where we might want to expand to in the near future. I prefer fields with a lot of room around them so that we don't have to worry about any traffic and getting anything hung. But so far, I am feeling very positive based on what has been going on with our mower. I really expected him to be having issues getting caught, but I have been more than pleasantly surprised. Okay, so we'll grab the windrower. Yeah, a nice field right there across from the storefront. That should have plenty of room. The good thing about some of the smaller fields, because previous maps that I've looked at so far have, looks like our helper has completed their task. Excellent. Alright, so the one piece of equipment we have not gotten so far is the one piece we're going to need next, and that is the tedder. So we'll go ahead and get that turned into hay. Still $901,000 remaining, so we should be able to purchase quite a few cows with that. But that money will go quickly when you're purchasing cattle. That it will not take long at all. Alright, there we go. We'll drop that off and head back to pick up our final piece of equipment. And now we know that we're already done with the mowing, so it'll give us an opportunity when we return to see just how good of a job that the AI did in mowing that field. So let's go ahead and pull up the map once again. So how many fields are on this map altogether? Looks like 27 if we're counting the numbered fields only. So we're going to have better than 30 fields here once you start counting the additional grass fields that are not numbered. Yeah, we may even approach 35 or so just at a quick glance, because I'm seeing a lot more of these fields that are not numbered than I originally thought. So yeah, we're well over 30, probably closer to 40. Okay, so as soon as we return, we'll actually be able to... Ooh, this is going to be a close one. Alright, we made it in between. Not obeying any traffic laws whatsoever. So as soon as we get back, we'll actually turn the tedder loose, and we'll see how the AI works for that activity. Alright, let's go ahead and unfold. All right, let's see. I kind of want to try it in this direction. Let's try it in this direction and see if it works. We should be right on the edge of the field. So let's hire that worker. Okay, so he's going to go right to the edge, and now, okay, so far so good. Let's actually move this piece of equipment out of the way. Again, I'll work on finding a more permanent home for it in the future, but for right now, I think I'm actually going to bring it right over to this flat area in the back and use this area for some storage. I'm also thinking, wow, a little bit bumpy right there. This is not a smooth road. So yeah, I'm actually going to just park it right back here for the time being. And this looks like a great place for a couple of storage sheds, maybe. All right, excellent. See how our tedder is going. It's going wonderfully, actually. Very nice indeed. Okay, so it looks like we do have the option to work in a few different directions with the field, even though it is not technically a numbered field. All right, so we'll let this guy get to work. All right, so let's head back over and let's purchase a few cows now that we've got, I believe, all of the basic equipment that we're going to need. Now, we're obviously going to need some other things like we talked about, such as a fuel tank. We're going to need a water tank as well. Let's see, what can we do with that? Again, we're going to go ahead and visit. Hey, how are you? Just sort of walking around. This guy looks like he's ready for some trouble. So we'll get out of his way. Let's actually look at some placeables really quickly. So we've got silos, miscellaneous, which is where we're going to find our water station. We already have a vehicle workshop on the land that we purchased, so we won't need that one. Although we might place one of these in a different area of the map. But $5 grand for our water station, and let's see where we can put this. Let's go ahead and spin everything around here so we can see where we're going. All right, this will also give us a bird's eye view, so we'll have an opportunity to really see some things. So collides with an object, not that I want to put it in here, but where can you put it? Wow. Because nowhere to this point has given me the green light. So this may be one I have to play around with. Because we have, oh wow, there's finally an area where we can put it, but there is not a lot of, I would actually like to clear this area out and use it. There's our silo. So we've got our drop-off point as well as our loading point that is above. Okay, very nice. So where are we going to put this water? Yikes, this is, I mean, you can see we don't have very many options at all. Okay, so we can put it right in this area. The question is, does that cut off access to anything? I don't think so. Actually, I think right in here is a great place to put it. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and put it right in, about right there. Alright, sorry, I'll get out of the way, I promise. Alright, so now we've spent our $5 grand, and that is money well spent for sure. Let's just head over here and see the look of things, make sure that we're not going to need to redo that. But again, the only thing I can think of is we've got the roadway going up through there, and we should have plenty of room for that. We could actually get rid of a few of these trees if need be, but right now they're giving us some nice shade. Okay, so we've got our water tank there. And we've got our water tank for filling right over here behind it. All right, we're in good shape. We still have just under 900,000. So let's go ahead and purchase a few cows. So we're going to go back to the black and white, and we're just going to do a lot of clicking right quick. Wow, this is going to be... So, of course, for 100 cows, that'd be 250,000 plus a delivery fee, because we don't have any equipment, nor am I really interested in all of the trips it would take to purchase these. So I will happily pay that fee. So we're going to move this up to, for right now, we're going to start out with 250,000 before the fee. Really wish there was a way that you could just hold this down. All right, a couple more times. And there we go. So the fee will be 20,000, which seems like a lot, but thankfully we're not going to have to purchase cows very many times in order to get what we need. So that'll get us our starting amount of cows, so 270,000 there. Let's go ahead and confirm that, and lo and behold, we have cows. All right, I like it. I like it. So now if we come back into our dialogue, you can see here on the farm, we have $626,000 as well as several cows. If we work our way around, let's actually go into the menu here for a moment. You can see we have our 100 cows. No productivity right now because we got a little work to do. And by work, I mean that I need to get them either some grass or some hay. And of course, we're working on hay right now. We're not going to be messing with the mixed ration probably for a good while, if ever, simply because of the amount of trouble that goes into that. And let's see, so straw, we won't have any of that here at the beginning, but water, we should be in good shape with, as well as hay. All right, so I'll take care of that off camera. I think that's going to do it for today. I have been pleasantly surprised with this map. It is a beautiful map. I mean, just look at the views that we're going to have here, and we'll continue to expand. Right now, we got $626,000, and I can't wait to see where we can expand to next and what's next on the list to purchase. So that's going to do it for today. Thank you very much for joining me, and stay tuned for more Farming Simulator 19.